Hello, my friends. It's so good to have you here again. If you're over 60 or even getting close to it, mornings feel a little different than they used to. You might wake up a bit stiffer, take your time getting out of bed, and perhaps feel like your energy doesn't kick in as fast as it once did. That's completely normal. But what if I told you that some of the small things you're doing or not doing each morning could actually be aging you faster than you realize? Yes, aging is a natural process. None of us are trying to fight time. We're just trying to live well, stay independent, and feel like ourselves for as long as we can. But certain habits, especially in the first hour of your day, can have a bigger impact on your health and longevity than you might think. That's why today we're going to take a close look at 5 morning habits that could be secretly speeding up the aging process, particularly for those of us in our 60s, 70s, and beyond. This video isn't about scaring anyone or making you feel bad. It's about awareness. And it's about offering gentle, realistic changes that can make a real difference in how you age physically, mentally, and emotionally. I'm going to walk you through each of these habits like a friend or even a concerned doctor who's seen these patterns time and time again. So grab a cup of tea or coffee, settle in, and let's take a little journey through your morning routine. You might just discover that with a few small changes, you can feel younger, move better, and age with more grace and strength than you thought possible. Ready? Let's start with the first habit that could be secretly aging you. Habit 1, skipping water, first thing in the morning. Let's talk about the very first thing many of us forget when we wake up: drinking water. Now, I know this sounds almost too simple to matter, but let me explain why this habit is so important, especially after the age of 60. When we sleep, we go anywhere from 6 to 8 hours or more without taking in any fluids. That's a long time for your body to go without hydration. And as we get older, our sense of thirst becomes less sharp. That means we might not feel as thirsty in the morning, but our bodies still desperately need water. Think of it this way: your cells have been working all night, repairing tissues, detoxifying, and resetting your body for the day ahead. And without enough water in the morning, your body can't flush out those toxins properly. That leaves your system sluggish, your skin looking dull, and your joints feeling stiff. Worse yet, chronic dehydration, even mild dehydration, can lead to fatigue, headaches, dry skin, poor digestion, and even brain fog. Over time, this takes a toll on how quickly your body ages. I've seen patients in their 60s and 70s who come in complaining of low energy or stiff joints, and one of the first things I ask is, are you drinking water first thing in the morning? You'd be surprised how many aren't. So here's a gentle suggestion. When you wake up before coffee, before breakfast, try drinking a full glass of room temperature water. You can even squeeze in some fresh lemon if you like. It helps stimulate digestion and adds a little vitamin C boost. It's one of the easiest changes you can make, but it's also one of the most powerful. You're literally refreshing your entire body from the inside out. It's like giving your system a clean slate to start the day. Don't underestimate this one. Skipping water might not seem like a big deal, but over time it quietly contributes to faster aging, from your skin to your brain to your bones. Now let's move on to another common habit that often goes unnoticed, but could be silently working against your health and longevity. Habit 2, staying sedentary for too long. After waking up. The next habit might feel harmless, maybe even comforting, but it can quietly chip away at your mobility and energy over time. I'm talking about staying sedentary for too long after waking up. Let me be honest, I completely understand the appeal. You wake up, maybe it's still a bit chilly, your joints feel stiff, and the bed is warm. Or maybe you shuffle to your favorite chair, grab a cup of coffee, and spend the first hour or two of the day sitting and reading or watching the news. It feels gentle. It feels easy. But here's the catch: the longer you stay inactive in the morning, the harder it becomes for your body to fully wake up and engage your muscles, joints, and circulation. After 60, our bodies naturally begin to lose muscle mass, flexibility, and joint mobility. And when we stay sedentary too long, even just in the mornings, that decline can speed up. You may have noticed that on mornings when you move around more, maybe walking to the mailbox, stretching, or doing a bit of light housework, you feel better, more awake, and more balanced. That's no accident. Movement, even gentle movement, tells your brain and body, hey, we're alive, we're ready, let's go. Staying too still, on the other hand, sends the opposite message. Circulation stays slow, metabolism drags, and stiffness sets in deeper. It's one of those silent habits that doesn't seem like a problem until you realize you've gotten more tired, more sore, and less mobile than you used to be. But here's the good news. It doesn't take much to reverse this. I'm not saying you need to start doing jumping jacks in your living room. Just 5 to 10 minutes of gentle movement in the morning can make a world of difference. Try standing stretches. Reach your arms up, roll your shoulders gently, twist your spine from side to side. Do a few heel raises or walk slowly around the house. You're not exercising, you're waking your body up with kindness. Think of it as brushing the dust off your joints and muscles after a long night's rest. If you start your day with just a bit of motion, your balance will improve. Your muscles will stay stronger, longer, and your mind will feel clearer. Over time, this can truly slow down the physical aspects of aging. Let's move on to the third morning habit that's easy to overlook, but could be making you age faster than you'd like. Habit 3, drinking too much coffee on an empty stomach. Now let's talk about something that many of us truly cherish, our morning coffee. There's nothing wrong with enjoying a warm cup of coffee in the morning. In fact, moderate coffee consumption has been linked to several health benefits, like better brain function and even a lower risk of certain diseases. But here's the part that most people don't talk about. Drinking too much coffee, especially on an empty stomach, can actually do more harm than good as we age. After 60, our digestive systems become a bit more sensitive. The stomach lining is more prone to irritation, acid levels may fluctuate, and the balance of hormones and blood sugar becomes more delicate. When we pour coffee into an empty stomach, especially strong black coffee, it can cause a spike in stomach acid, leading to indigestion, heartburn, or a sour stomach feeling that lingers throughout the day. Some people even experience jitteriness, anxiety, or irregular heartbeat after a big dose of caffeine without food. That stress on your nervous system over time can accelerate aging, especially in your brain and heart. Not to mention that coffee can act as a diuretic, which may contribute to dehydration if you haven't had water first. One of my patients, a 68-year-old man who had been dealing with frequent bloating and energy crashes by midday, finally realized it wasn't what he was eating later in the day. It was how he was starting his mornings. He was drinking 2 cups of strong coffee before eating anything. We switched his routine to include water, first a light breakfast like oatmeal or a boiled egg, and then 1 cup of coffee. Within a week, his symptoms were dramatically reduced. Here's my gentle recommendation. If you love coffee, that's okay. Just try not to make it the first thing that hits your stomach. Start with water, maybe a small bite of something solid, even just a piece of fruit or a handful of nuts before you sip your coffee. And try to limit yourself to 1 or 2 cups instead of reaching for a 3rd or 4th just out of habit. Your digestion will thank you, your nervous system will calm down, and over time you'll notice a difference in your mood, your energy, and even your skin. All right, now let's move on to the 4th habit, something that has less to do with your body and more to do with your mind. Habit 4, starting the day with negative news or social media. This one is a little more subtle, but it might just be one of the most powerful aging habits we don't even realize we're doing. It's starting your day with stress, especially through the news or social media. Let me ask you something gently. What's the first thing you look at in the morning? For many people, especially since smartphones became our constant companions, the answer is the news app, Facebook, email, or the latest headlines. And unfortunately, much of that content is built on negativity, fear, and comparison. You wake up with a fresh mind, but then immediately flood it with stories of disaster arguments, political division, or heartbreaking tragedies from around the world. Or you scroll through social media and start unconsciously comparing your life to others, people who seem younger, healthier, richer, or happier. It may feel harmless, but over time, that steady drip of negativity can take a deep emotional and physical toll. Stress is a major accelerator of aging. Chronic stress leads to inflammation, which is one of the root causes of everything from heart disease and memory loss to autoimmune problems and sleep issues. And the way we start our morning sets the tone for the entire day. I once worked with a woman in her early 70s who couldn't figure out why she felt anxious by noon every single day, even though nothing in her life had changed. It turned out she was waking up and watching 30 minutes of morning news filled with distressing stories, followed by scrolling Facebook and reading political debates. Her mind was in fight or flight mode before she'd even had breakfast. When we replaced that habit with something more peaceful like gentle music light, stretching, and 10 minutes of reading a motivational book, her mood focus, and even her blood pressure improved. You don't have to cut yourself off from the world, but you do have control over when and how you receive that information. Try waiting an hour after waking before checking the news. Instead, listen to calming music, read something uplifting, or simply sit in quiet with your morning tea. By protecting your mental space first thing in the morning, you're reducing emotional stress, lowering cortisol levels, and helping your mind stay sharp and steady. That's not just good for the day, it's good for your long-term health. Now we've reached our final morning habit, one that people rarely talk about, but it has a direct connection to how quickly our bodies and minds age. Habit 5, skipping a protein-rich breakfast. Now let's talk about food, specifically breakfast, and why skipping a proper protein-rich breakfast can speed up the aging process in ways most people don't realize. For many older adults, breakfast either gets skipped altogether or consists of something quick and sugary, a piece of toast, a muffin, or maybe just another cup of coffee. And while that might feel light and convenient, it's missing one of the most essential nutrients for healthy aging: protein. After 60, our bodies naturally lose muscle mass. This process is called sarcopenia, and if we don't actively fight against it, it can lead to weakness, poor balance, slower metabolism, and even a higher risk of falls. And one of the most powerful ways to fight muscle loss: eating enough protein, especially in the morning when your body's most ready to use it. Think of protein as the building blocks for your muscles, skin, immune system, and even your brain. Without it, your body doesn't recover as well, you don't feel full, and your energy tends to dip early in the day. Worse, if your body doesn't get enough protein from food, it may start breaking down your own muscle tissue to get what it needs. And no, just having a little milk in your coffee or a small bite of bread doesn't cut it. One of my elderly clients, a 72-year-old woman who kept gaining belly fat even though she ate less than she used to, came to me confused and frustrated. When we looked at her diet, we realized her breakfast consisted of cereal with skim milk and orange juice. No real protein. Once we switched her to a higher protein breakfast, like Greek yogurt with chia seeds or scrambled eggs with avocado and whole grain toast, her energy improved, her cravings disappeared, and her body started burning fat more effectively. Here's the good news: you don't need to eat a huge meal. Just aim to include at least 15 to 20 grams of high-quality protein in your breakfast. Some easy options include 2 boiled or scrambled eggs, a cup of Greek yogurt, a protein smoothie with almond milk and berries, cottage cheese with fruit, even leftover chicken or tofu from the night before. Protein helps stabilize your blood sugar supports. Lean muscle keeps your metabolism running and helps you feel full longer, so you're not tempted to snack on sugary foods later in the day. Skipping or skimping on breakfast might save you a few minutes in the morning, but over time it quietly takes a toll on your strength, your weight, and your ability to age well and stay independent. Now that we've gone through these 5 habits, let's bring it all together and wrap things up with a few reflections and takeaways. So there you have it, 5 common morning habits that seem small, even harmless, but over time they could quietly be aging you faster than you'd like. Let's quickly recap. Skipping water first thing in the morning dehydrates your cells, slows your system, and makes your body feel older than it needs to. Staying sedentary after waking leads to stiffness, poor circulation, and faster physical decline. Drinking too much coffee on an empty stomach irritates digestion, spikes stress hormones, and robs your body of balance. Starting the day with negative news or social media clouds your mood, fuels anxiety, and starts your day with mental stress. Skipping a protein-rich breakfast weakens muscle, slows your metabolism, and accelerates age-related physical decline. But here's what I want you to remember. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. It's about taking back control of your mornings and realizing that even small shifts in your routine can create a huge difference in how you feel, not just today, but months and years down the road. Getting older is not something to fear, it's something to respect. And part of respecting this stage of life is treating your body with the care it truly deserves. That starts the moment you wake up. So tomorrow morning when you open your eyes, ask yourself, did I drink my water? Did I move a little to wake up my body? Did I give myself a calm, peaceful start, not one filled with stress? Did I feed my body the nutrients it needs to stay strong? You don't need a personal trainer or a special meal plan. You just need intention and consistency. With those two things, you'll be amazed at how young your body and mind can feel, even after 60, 70, or beyond. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope this message felt like a gentle conversation with a friend or a caring doctor, because that's how I see you. You deserve to age with strength, peace, and clarity. And it all begins with how you treat yourself in the first hour of the day. If you found this helpful, I invite you to share it with someone you care about. And if you'd like more simple, science-backed advice for living well in your golden years, be sure to subscribe and follow along. There's so much more wisdom to explore together. Take care of yourself. Be kind to your body, and remember, it's never too late to feel better.